everybody hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yep, loud and clear.
So this may seem a little strange at 10:29 in the morning to talk about wine, but it happens to be one of my passions, so I thought I would share with you some of my experiences. So early in my career, I found myself hosting a lot of dinners and client events where ordering wine became my role at the table, and I knew nothing about wine. So it was important for me to learn and understand, and actually through the whole exercise, I became very interested in wine. So what I'm sharing with you today is a book that I bought years ago that is called the 1 Minute Wine Master. And what it will do after answering 11 questions, which you will in a few minutes or in a minute, you will be able to pick out 10 wines that you like, and it's based on a number of characteristics. So why don't you go to the next slide? So what I need everybody to do is take out a paper and a pen and go through this list of 11 questions and tally up the points for each one. And these questions may seem to be not relating to wine at all, but what they do is determine what type of acidity and what type of bitterness and different flavors that you like on your palate. So first question, how do you like your coffee or tea? 3 points for black, nothing added. 2 points, a little milk or cream. 1 point, a lot of cream or milk, or you don't drink coffee. So if you could just take a couple of minutes and go through the list, and they may not seem obvious, but they will be. What I suggest you do is when you answer the question, answer it as a preference, as opposed to what you do every day. Like I drink black coffee because I do intermittent fasting, but I prefer a lot of cream and I prefer sugar in it. So answer the questions the way you really do prefer, because it will tell you more about your palate. Juice, spiciness. There's a question 7 and 8 are if you compare the body of a white wine or the body of a red wine. And what they mean in this question is body is texture, it's weight, heaviness, and it's important to determine what kind of wines you like. Perfume or cologne, that's a lot about your senses, spiciness as well. So.
Or you could read them.
Fourth question, lemons. The fourth question, how often do you put lemon on your fish?
What's the second one?
Second one, how much sugar do you add to your coffee or tea?
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and just read them real quick if you would.
All right, Karen, you mind if I run through?
Oh, no, go ahead. You can see it better than I can.
Okay. Question 1, how do you like your coffee or tea? Question 2, how much sugar do you add to your coffee or tea? Question 3, what type of chocolate do you prefer? How often do you put lemon on your fish? What is your favorite juice? How spicy do you like your food? If you compare the body of a white wine to the body of a heavy cream, whole milk, or skim milk, which would you prefer? If you compare the body of a red wine to the body of a heavy cream, whole milk, or skim milk, which would you prefer? What type of perfume or cologne do you like? What type of gum do you prefer? And lastly, what is your favorite snack?
Okay.
So if you could just make the points section larger to answer with, I think that would be helpful.
Yes. All right. So here are the answers. Looks like depending on what you pick, you tally the points over here, and then you add them all up on the bottom.
Okay, we can send this out too. So
What was the last question again?
The last question was, what is your favorite snack?
So once you tally up all these points, and Ryan, you can move to the right, there's a key, and there's a wheel that tells you the different types of wine you would select based on how you answer those questions. So it's divided into spring, summer, fall, and winter, and depending on the number of points would determine really what category you fall into. So like the spring is green, and you prefer wines that are delicate, pure, crisp, floral, really not heavy wines at all. Summer, you like fruit in your wines, but you don't like the spiciness. Fall, you want more concentration and density. And then winter tends towards the big, rich, full-bodied Cabernets, right? The ones that we all drink with a big steak. So what this wheel does is it gives you some variations. You know, if you're used to drinking whatever you drink with your significant other or what other people drink all the time, you might find that you really don't like wine, or you think you don't like wine. But the truth is you just haven't really found the right wine for you. So this wheel will give you 10 different categories that you should go out and buy a bottle of. Something on this list that you fell into that category. And I think you'll find you like wine more. And there's some variations, like I'm a fall, but I love Cabernet. But what I like about a Cabernet is, you know, something that's a little older, that smooths, doesn't have as much bitterness, it's not as big, and that falls into the fall category. But there's a lot of interesting wines here. Some of them I've never had before, and a lot of them, I have to say, are in my house someplace. But, you know, I think what you learn is sense of smell is really important, because what you think of as a taste is really an aroma. So you want to go to the next slide. So these are two other sources. This on the left is it's a poster that I have framed in my house, and I actually look at it all the time. It tells me a lot about acidity in wines, where they come from. I mean, I might go to a wine tasting event and someone has some obscure wine that I've never heard of, so I find this interesting to go through. It'll help me, you know, figure out where it came from. And the Wine Avenger is a little pocketbook I bought years ago. I think the print is 1998, and you can find it on Amazon or eBay. But it's really a fun little book. It takes you an hour to read it, but it'll tell you a lot about different things you can do, how you pair wines, where wine comes from. And, you know, some of the snobby things you see wine people do too as well. You know, like how you hold the glass and, you know, just some other tips. But it's really kind of fun if you have the interest. So Ryan told me I needed to tie this back to Toro, and I guess I take it full circle. If you find yourself going out to dinner with clients representing Toro, you might want to show that you know a lot about wine, and you really only have to take this test and learn a little bit more. So there's my 2 minutes.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you. That's good.
If you have any questions, or if you want a couple of wine tips, you probably can call Andy, but you can also call me too.